It is 10:01. 10:01. We're going to start on time today. So, again, great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I'm happy and grateful for you. I'm happy and grateful for another day, another opportunity, another chance to right my wrongs, another day to just look at me, to deal with me, to understand that I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, and I am going to be intentional to walk in it. And I, by faith, believe that you are doing the same thing, okay? Because we are healthy, we are wealthy, we are prosperous. Everything that our hands touch, it must prosper and grow because it is who we are, all right? So we're going to start with our self confidence formula. I should have this memorized by now. I have most of it memorized, but not all of it. But y'all watch. I'm gonna stop reading it like this. I'm gonna be up here. But I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. The dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action, gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person that I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture. I know through the theory of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek some expression through some practical means of obtaining the object or position I desire. I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim, and I will never stop trying until I develop sufficient self confidence for its attainment. I realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. I will engage in no transaction that will not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces that I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve them. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. For I know that a negative attitude toward others will never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself. Our self confidence formula that I hope even on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, that even as I say it, that you speak it as well. So have your copy out, okay? And say it, speak it. Words are powerful, all right? There's life and death in our tongue, all right? That's why it's the smallest, you know, little, well, it's one of the smallest because I don't think it's the smallest, but they say something. But your tongue, okay? It's like a knife. It's like a two-edged sword, all right? But everything that proceeds out of your mouth, it will manifest and grow. You got to believe that. So even as we're doing this, so if you're not doing it at least 7 times in a week, you should be doing it at least three because we're together at least 3 days a week. Okay. But I today I wanted to come on. Well, I just have to tell y'all because y'all know I'm very transparent. I wanted to try to figure out how to kind of like make it a Nikki's Nugget and this life lesson. But the reality is it happened to me. Okay. So today I want us to learn how to become people free. Okay. We got to become people free. We have to get to a point where things that people say or speak over you, and if it's in passing, if it's in conversation, if it's in, well, hopefully it wouldn't be an argument because we're healthy and we're not in toxic areas. We don't have toxic conversations. But this week a situation happened, and I was talking to, well, I was talking to my mom. Okay. So for those of you all who don't know, I am a Blasian. I am mixed with Korean and African American. My mother is 100% Korean. And anyone who knows anyone of Asian ethnicity, you know that some of them we just don't have coof. Okay, we say things, and sometimes we say things, and they're just like very blunt, very cut and dry. But one thing with my mom, she lives by the Chinese calendar. Okay. So by the Chinese calendar, I'm an ox. She calls and has always called me a cow because she calls an ox a cow. So, and then, they also go by the time of day or night that you're born. And so basically, depending on what um animal you're represented as on the Chinese zodiac, it determines, they feel, your life, your sign, as well as the time that you're born. So my mom all my life has told me I'm a lazy cow because of me being the ox and what time I was born. So when it comes to money, she's spoken over me 48 years, because my birthday was yesterday, turned 48. So as long as I can remember, I have been this lazy cow that's never gonna have no money. And I'm just gonna always be in this vicious cycle. And my mother wasn't saying these things to me because she was trying to be negative or ugly. It's just, they just say stuff. So when I would, work and not have no money, because she is a saver. Like, my mom is thebomb.com. If you look in and you see a 900 credit score, it probably has her picture right next to it. Like, she is the A spoon cool. Okay. She's bought cars, luxury cars in cash. She's bought home in cash. She's to the point where she has so many CDs set up that interest pays her every month. So she has at least 6 CDs because they pay out twice a year. So she literally gets a check every month based off of money she's saving. She is awesome when it comes to that. All right. And now me, I'm a giver. So I'm just like, so she used to always tell me, you're a lazy cow. Like, you're never going to have money. You're not going to be able to save. Da, 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 da. All right. Fast forward. So now I'm at a point where I'm not where she is. I strive to exceed, because greater works we should do. Try to exceed. That is a goal for me, what she's been able to establish here on earth. But situation came up financially for me. So I asked her, I'm like, Mom, can you put X amount of money in my account? It's not that I don't have any money. It's just, it's the end of the month. I want to make sure, nothing does not clear, yada, yada. So of course, when I asked, she's like, okay, just transfer it. Like, she got it like that, y'all, right? She just like transfers. I'm like, before she changed her mind, we on the phone like, hold on, don't hang up yet. I want to make sure the transfer go through. Okay. Couple days later, we have delayed reactions sometimes. Sometimes I guess I get it from her. Later on, something will pop in our head. We'll start thinking about it. So she calls me and she's like, you don't have any money? And I'm like, yeah, I have money. I told you. I just wanted to make sure it was there, because the check that was supposed to be direct deposited wasn't. So I'm waiting for a manual check. So I was like, I just wanted to make sure, because I got stuff on auto pay and it's been on there. I haven't sat down, done my stuff. I wanted to make sure it was there. Now, I told her this and she says, what are you going to do when I'm dead? Who are you going to have to help you? And so I'm on the phone like, Mom, it's not like I don't have any money. If something happens to me, I just don't know what you're going to have. And you are too old to not have any money. Now, keep in mind, I've told her more than once, I had money. Like, she was just my little safe. She was my safety. Okay. That's my fault, because I didn't have faith to trust and or believe, because I haven't even had to touch her money. But when she said it, I just said, okay, Mom, I'm gonna talk to you later. Cause she's going down this rabbit hole of how I don't have, basically, you don't have nothing, ain't gonna have nothing, ain't never gonna have nothing. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? You stress me out. All of that, all over. And I had continued to explain it. So what I did, because she's my mom, and I'm gonna try to stay as respectful as I can. I just said, okay, all right, Mom. Well, I'm gonna call you later. I love you. I'll talk to you later. And I got off the phone with her. So when I got off the phone with her, of course, I'm like, hmm, 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 right? But I was in a good place. It didn't, the words didn't stick to me, none of that. Cause I'm like, I got on the phone like, she just does not listen. Like, I just tried to explain to her what the situation was. But in her head, I'm like broke toe up from the foe up. Just what is wrong with you? But the next day, y'all, I woke up and I started going through my account. I started writing out my budget. And it's like all those words that have been spoken over me for all those years just started coming back. Okay. And I'm like, man, why did I have to ask her? Man, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. Man, I'm living check to check. I started doing it to myself. I had to immediately stop myself because I'm not robbing Peter to pay Paul and I'm not living check to check. Okay. But we have to understand that we got to get to a place where we can be people free. All right. So I ended up having to take a majority of that day, because you got to remember, everything is here, to kind of break down what I now was beginning to do to myself off of someone else's thought about me, someone else's opinion about me. Okay. Because I'm not who I was. Now, granted, y'all, sidebar, in my mom's defense, because she's still my mama, I love her to the moon, back, and 3 more times. Okay. She got every right to go there because I have spent the majority of my life robbing Peter to pay Paul. I've spent the majority of my life of her being a financial help and stability to me. So I get it. But one thing I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, that is not who I am today. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where I was. Okay. So I had to, one, when it started happening, realize that even though those negative roots may have been planted and dropped by her over the years, it was me that was taking her thought and now self-sabotaging myself in my mind. Okay. So we have to learn to become people free. We have to understand that no matter how much as we're doing this self-confidence formula and we are evolving into becoming a better person, everybody is not going to see it. Everybody is not going to believe it. Everyone is not going to appreciate it. But at the end of the day, when my journey ends on Judgment Day, I'm the only one that's going to be standing there. When your journey ends on Judgment Day, you're going to be the only one standing there. You cannot go through your days consumed with somebody thinks about you. You can't go through your days with somebody else's opinions of you running your day. You can't do it. Okay? I love my mom. And in that day, that next day, I told y'all, it took a majority of the day for me to get myself out of my rabbit hole. Okay. It took a majority of the day. But where I had to start, and I'm just being honest, I had to be like, I'm not what my mother said. And I don't care what she thinks. Okay. I had to take that stance. Saying I don't care what she thinks doesn't mean I don't care about her. See, we've got to get to the point where we understand perspective. So I had to start there. I think think sometimes the reason why we can't get people free is because we're almost intimidated to take that approach because it's someone we love. Think about that. Okay. My mother has said this to me. You're a lazy cow. You're a lazy cow. And what's so crazy, because I'm not into zodiacs or none of that. I don't follow any of that. But the reality is my mother, it is what she did. So it's not like, it's what I know. Okay. And so I happen to be looking at the beginning of this year, realizing that this is the year of the ox. So I called my mom, because you got to remember, like, my mom has always told me the negative and the bad of me, but not really. I don't think she really pretty much says a lot of positive things, not because she doesn't love, but my mother is just one of those people that, she just kind of, the things that you aren't doing right are the things she just mainly points out. Okay. So it's not that's my dad. Like, my dad is the one who loves and encourages. My mom is like, girl, why don't you have makeup on today? Why don't Asian superficial? Why you're getting fat? She's just, that's just her. So I don't even take it personal anymore. But I noticed that this year is the year of the ox. So I called her and I'm like, Mom, you didn't tell me that this was the year of the ox. And so she's like, yeah, because what I also read was for this year, 2021, that the year of the ox is going to have success. They're going to have wealth. They're going to have overflow and abundance. So I'm like this, Mom, you didn't tell me it was the year of the ox. And she's like, yeah, it's the year of the ox. I said, yeah. So what is it saying about me when it comes to wealth? Well, what's it saying in the little Chinese zodiac? Because when I tell you, she's on point. Like, she lives by it, and most 99.8% of what she says about it, it happens. Okay. So she kind of went over all of that. She went over it. Like, she wouldn't answer any of those questions for me. But I don't even believe that it was a mistake that I kind of tripped up on that this year. Okay. I don't believe it was a mistake, because I'm understanding that as I am going through this self-confidence formula and I am learning to love me, a lot of those things that I have walked in and believed that are negative over my life, Holy Spirit, God, Jehovah God is freeing me from all of that. Okay. And this is like the biggest one, because I've always had money. I can never get to the overflow. But then I know Jehovah God told me that wealth is here. So I had to see that. But it doesn't mean that the walking out process is easy. So we got to get people free. Now, did I tell my mom, well, it said that I'm going to have overflow, success, blah, blah, blah? Nope, I didn't tell her anything. She didn't tell me anything. I didn't tell her anything. But now that happened yesterday, I'm probably going to call her today and say it to her. Not because I'm trying to be defiant or challenge her, but because you live by this and I've accepted it as a truth from her. So let's speak some truth to me and what it really says. Okay. All right. I might not call her today. It depends on if it's laid on my heart. Because now that I said it like that, it's almost like I'm like, and I'm not trying to do that. That's not even my posture. Okay. If I call her, if it gets to that, it's more so because you're the one who spoke the negative. See if I can get her to speak some positive. But even if she doesn't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I am walking out being people free. Okay. But I want you to think about that. You have to understand that in everything, each person, if you're in a room with 10 people, you can do one action and there will be 10 opinions. Okay. Each person is going to get something else, a point of view out of it. Some may be similar, Some may be just the same. Some may be total opposite. But we've got to get to a place where we are people free. And not to say that we don't care what people say and think, because we should, but we need to learn how to know what to take in, what to chew on, what to swallow, and what to spit out. Okay? That's the only way you can be people free. Because while you're going through this self-confidence and while you're building up yourself, and affirmations are key. Because what helped me through that day, I had to go to affirming myself. Because affirmations will begin to make you believe for yourself. Affirmations will make you your biggest cheerleader. Okay? Those are the things that you need while you're becoming people free. So, I love my mom, and I don't believe she means any harm to me. I believe that if I became a billionaire today, because she still this is a fear for her, okay? A fear for my mom is that something happens to her and I'm not taken care of. Because even though she goes by the Chinese zodiac, even though she was raised Buddhist, she believes in leaving an inheritance for your children's children, which is why she's worked so hard. My mother came over here from Korea. They married, her and my dad married in Korea. She's come to the States. She got her citizenship. My dad put her in school. She got her citizenship. My mother has worked as a janitor and as a kitchen lady in the mess hall on the post. That's all she's ever done. And she is worth $1 million. Self-made millionaire. Okay? But if you saw my mother, she's humble. Now, if you look at her accessories, you can tell she got money. All right? It's wealthy people, they move different. They don't need all the bling bling and the glitter, none of that. But what's funny is she did it for me and she did it for my kids. Okay? That's wisdom, y'all. That's the book. Like, I had to show her that in Proverbs. Like, Mom, you say you worship Buddha, but you're doing what God said. So she's left already an inheritance for her children's children. All right? So her talking to me in that manner is not because she's speaking death over me. It's just an expectation that she desires, that she can be at peace. Okay? And in her mind, that goal looks a certain way. So anytime I look like I'm steering another way, she kind of goes the other way. But if I was not working on being people free, I wouldn't even have the perspective that I just shared. Okay? Mindset. Perspective we'll never be able to get away from, I'm starting to see. But I just want to encourage you, be people free. If someone is and when people start speaking and saying things over your life, because you do realize this is why you got to make sure you're safeguarding your ears. Make sure you're safeguarding your environment. Okay? Because our five senses and the things that will allow things to get into our soul, we have to protect them and safeguard them. So think about even people that you talk to. If their tongue is negative, if they always questioning, if it's just in a negative place, if it's in borderline toxic, you got to get it out your ear gates. You have to get it out. Because even if you walk away, once the words come, they're there. Once you hear them, they're just floating around with an opportunity to become a thought. And you know that in one day, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't do 60 to 70,000 things. So that tells me it's a whole lot of stuff going on up here. And if that one thing is able to get my attention and my focus, then that's going to be a bad day. And we don't want that. So Alone, we have all these thoughts. Imagine what happens when you start getting everybody else's thoughts in with your thoughts. And then again, because of who the person may be in your life, that thing is going to stick. When she said that, even though I was just like, okay, mom, see, I'm like, I started hearing it. So I stopped the conversation, but I let her say it enough times to me that it stuck. It did just like this. Okay. So the next day I woke up very unconsciously because routinely I go through my finances. Routinely I do a to-do list. All of that. Now that I just said that, see, I didn't do a brain dump. I didn't dump that out the night before. Didn't do that. But the next day, unconsciously, it just started creeping up. And then I realized what I was doing. And then I realized I had to become free of what she was saying. People free. When we can become people free, we can give them grace too. Because a year ago, I probably wouldn't have felt like this because of things that she said to me. A year ago, I'd have been in a posture of offense. A year ago, I probably would have been trying to sell my stuff just to give her her little couple dollars back. Your pride, okay? All of that. So understand that everything that you're doing is to make you healthier. It's to help you to stop making emotional decisions. And then you can start making wise decisions. We can stop, because sometimes we do stuff just to make a point. And in all reality, your point is pointless. And it's just going to hurt you. Okay? In all things, there's still an enemy that every moment of your day wants to kill, steal, and destroy you. That never changes. We can't control that. We can only control ourselves. So we got to understand what it is that's being spoken to us. Learn how to be free from someone's opinion and get up and keep being the best me, the best you that you can be. All right? Can we do that? Can we get people free? Can we just shake it off? Just shake it off. Because everyone's opinion is not valid. It's not valid. That's why you got to know your three. Know your safe place. Know the three that are called into your life right now. Their opinion matters. Their opinion is valued. Okay? Then you know the 12, the one that you're pouring into. Their opinions, you chew on them and you decide, you understand what parts you're supposed to keep, what parts you're supposed to spit out. The 72 sent out 2 by 2, don't put a whole lot of energy into it. Okay? Because if they're in the 72 sent out 2 by 2, then there's some stuff, they're just not called to you in this season, because I told you people move, they shift. And usually in the outer court, it's a lot going on, because that's where the drama is. That's where, it's a big gathering. There's a whole lot going on out there. So you got to learn how to cipher through that, because all of us are human. So when something is said about you, it affects you if you're honest with yourself. What you have to do is determine how long that effect's going to take and how deep it's going to penetrate. And you can only do it by prioritizing, because you have emotions, you have feelings. All right. So, oh my God, it's 10:31. Let me shut up. Again, I am Nicole D. Jones. Never want to take for granted your time. Okay. I appreciate you. I thank you. Thank you for being accountability to me. Thank you for helping this be a safe place. Hopefully for you, but I know it is for me. Please don't get off this call thinking that my mama just, don't love me and she just talking negative, crazy. It's cultural. All right. Anyone who knows an Asian, man, they just cutthroat. They just say stuff. And then when you're like, that was rude, they don't even get it. It's cultural. It's all good, right? But At the end of the day, like I said, I keep playing Fundisha. Y'all get her album. It's called Thorns by Fundisha. But continue to stay healthy, continue to stay wealthy, continue to stay prosperous. Continue to stay the solution and never the problem. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you keep it fantabulous and be people free. Have a fantabulous day. Smooches.